Welcome to Stormfront Freaks Live! And guess who is taking over the show? It's me, Jen Watson. And it's going to be the best show you've ever heard, seen, all the things. If I could get my camera to stay up straight, I have no idea what's going on. But this is episode 224. I can't believe it's 224. One of the last ones of 2024, which is really exciting. And we're going to kick it off with two epic guests. But before that, we have to play the intro.
Going green.
Greenwich.
Saddle up.
You got it, boss.
Yay! Welcome to Stormfront Freaks. And this is one of the takeover shows. Yes, I am taking over this show. We had Serena, we had Brady. I don't think we've had anyone else yet. And it's me. So yay! It's the holiday season. I am so excited that everybody is here. It's going to be epic. But before we dive into anything super geeky, we want to talk about Drive Weather. So this episode is brought to you by the Drive Weather app. If you don't have it, you need to get it. Are you planning a road trip this holiday season? Don't let the weather take you by surprise. It can do so easily. With the Drive Weather app, see the forecast along with your route so you can dodge storms, avoid icy roads, and stay safe. Download the Drive Weather app today because the journey is better when you drive prepared. And along with that, our Patreon members, who is with us tonight? Say hi, do all the fun things. I'm so excited. I see Fuzzy, I see Christine, I see Carly, I see Mama, I see all the people. And you can see all of our Patreon members down below. We've got Jamie, Al, Lauren, Alex, Stacy, Jeremy, Grant, Liam, Cindy, Chris. I could go for days. You guys are awesome. I see Jennifer down there. I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys to be here. I've got a little bit of a raspy voice because I'm starting to get a little bit under the weather, but I'm here and it's going to be the most epic show yet. And so
have some coffee. Have some coffee, Jen.
That's exactly what I'm drinking.
I love it.
And I've got my Jazz Santa. Do you see him? He's there too. I mean,
he's amazing.
I think you're amazing. Look, and he plays.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sassy Santa.
It is, and I don't think I can turn him off. So he's going to play here for a while.
He's embarrassed too. He's kind of red in the cheeks.
Oh yeah, he's blowing really hard on his sax.
He's like, I shouldn't be blowing this hard.
I know. Yeah, I can't turn him off. He's got to play his whole situation. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't.
Hey, flip your mic around towards you, Jen. The little green dot towards you.
Oh,
your mic
there we
there.
go. We got it. Cool. Yay! So now that we've got music for the holidays, let's go around and introduce the freaks with what they're drinking. And I'm going to start with Brady. Brady, what are you drinking this evening?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I have a little bit of leftover beer from the stream earlier. We did a happy hour earlier, so got some leftover beer.
Oh my God! So how are you feeling, Brady? Like, how many beers in is this, or is that just?
I'm going to be honest. So I one of my friends is actually leaving town. He's going back to New York, so that's where I was. And so we were getting some margaritas, and now so we went from happy hour to margaritas with the friends, and now back to apparently another happy hour. So it's gonna be a fun night.
Or a coffee hour, whatever you want to do. It's totally okay.
There you go.
Maz, what are you drinking tonight?
Okay, I cannot take you serious with Santa's pants on your head. I don't know what it is, but I'm like,
join the fun. Join the fun. Get a hat on.
Happy. Yeah, I will. I'll have to find one. Let's see. So I'm drinking Angry Orchard. You can't see it, but it's there. There it is. I needed something a little sweet tonight. Had a big dinner, and I'm like, yep, this is perfect. So.
Oh, I love that. What'd you have for dinner, Maz?
Tiki masala.
Oh,
spicy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yum.
I wish I was with you. Okay, yay. Serena, what do you got going on?
I'm joining the also raspy. We're just going to have the sexy lady voice tonight.
Oh, yes. Hi.
So we're all going to be rocking. So I have Dr. D's. Mm-hmm. It's just a sparkly like non-alcoholic drink. I'm sorry. I wish it were more fun than that.
Oh my God, Serena, I was going to bring my Dr. D's. I have the Concord and I have the Apple one downstairs. I had an
That's so
emergency
good.
earlier, so I get that. No, it's really good. It tastes delicious too.
Dr. D always feels good in the throat.
It does feel good in the throat.
Wait, hold on. What's the name of this Dr. D's? Like D's?
What? No.
It's just this is horrible advertising for them. It's just
Yeah.
Dr. D's.
Delicious
It's like
gut
it-
suppressant.
Yeah, it's like a
Is that what that
probiotic
says?
It's a
drink.
probiotic drink
It's good
because
for your
we're
gut.
really feeling wild tonight.
Yeah, we want to get crazy. Our gut wants to get crazy. Oh my God, Dan, what do you have going on with that smirk down there?
Just some club soda with a little bit something mixed in.
What is a little bit of
Oh,
something
stop.
mixed in?
Like
Water,
vanilla
Dan.
vodka. Yeah, it's like water.
Water, Dan, right, Dan?
Looks like water. Tastes a little different.
All right, Dan. Garrett, what do you have going on down there?
Yeah, I'm just rehydrating. Been moving furniture all day, so keeping it mellow with some Gatorade.
Oh, what kind of Gatorade? There's lots of flavors.
Good old orange.
Okay.
Ooh,
I like it.
solid.
Garrett, are you moving? Why are you moving furniture?
Yep, just moved it across the road, so not a far trip.
Nice.
Why did the Garrett cross the road?
Just looking to take care of some relatives there.
Oh,
that's
Garrett, you're awesome. I love that. All right, Felicious, what you got going on over
All right,
there?
what I'm doing down here is none of your business. You seem to want to know what's going down there with everybody else, but I am drinking
do.
a nice cup of cough syrup because that seems to be what everybody is drinking tonight.
Is everyone sick?
But no, I've actually got it's Coke and cinnamon moonshine.
I love that.
okay.
Did Dina get that for you? Your weather or your
Oh
cup?
yeah. Yep, this is my secret
Your
Santa,
secret Santa from a couple
weather.
years ago. The meteorology, yeah.
Yeah, meteorology knowledge.
Yeah. Oh, look at it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I love that. Yay! All right, we're going to introduce our guests and then we're going to ask them what they're drinking. And I'm going to wave my hands just like I have legs all night long. So let's do it. Okay, so I am so pumped for this show for many, many reasons. There were so many different research teams that went out this year to gather data, and they got so much valuable data that us meteorologists, scientists can use to better understand supercells and tornadoes. So we're going to geek out with two people from this, I think, 5-person team that went out with some of the craziest tornado outbreaks, especially in Iowa. So first, we're going to interview Erik Fox. Woohoo! He is a father of 2 beautiful daughters and a national field correspondent for WeatherNation TV. He's a police officer and the founder and president of the National Storm Chaser Summit. Yay! And if you don't have your tickets yet, you need to get them because I am going to be the MC. So you're going to be getting a lot more of this when you get there. Erik attended Vernon College, Christian Texas University, and is a graduate of the U.S. Army Meteorology Program. Go, Erik. Erik has been storm chasing an all-out weather nerd since 1995, when he saw his first real tornado at the age of 12 in Pampa, Texas. Erik has chased over 50 tropical systems and seen well over 200 tornadoes. Erik, welcome to the show really quick. Tell us what you're drinking, and then we're going to introduce Tanner. But Erik, you got sunglasses on too. What's going on there?
Well, I had to match my boy over there.
Yeah,
And
I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. He's cool.
It is a cool look. It's a cool look.
also, I'm in my RV right now, chilling out
Fancy.
in a great town of Burke Burnett, Texas. So, I got to bring on some Blue Chair Bay rum.
Ooh.
And if anybody knows about this rum, it is Kenny Chesney's personal rum. So
Okay.
my thoughts are on the Virgin Islands
Okay.
because I'm in my RV, kind of on vacation, mixed with Dr. Pepper. Does it get better than that?
Oh, I love some
Nice.
Dr. Pepper. That's awesome, Erik. Okay, great. Let's get over to Tanner. Tanner, I want to see if you got something fun drinking. If not, if it's water, it's okay because I really don't drink hardly at all on this show. Okay, so Tanner Beard, woohoo! He is a structures engineer at SpaceX. SpaceX. How cool is that? Tanner, I know you do amazing things, and I'm going to ask you about them tonight. So as all of us. But he's a championship drone racer. So not only is he an engineer at SpaceX, a championship drone racer, an avid storm chaser who has been capturing data to better understand the dynamics and microclimate features associated with supercells and tornadoes. Tanner, you are so fun. I just want to be with you right now. And I'm so excited you're here joining us. And so just say hi to everyone. And are you drinking something fun? If it's water, I've got water and coffee with me right now. So, I mean, you can drink something cooler than that, maybe. I don't know, some Sprite.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. So I have this like Mexican juice, this like mango nectar stuff. I live like down by the border, so they have some really good juices down here.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. Now, Tanner, what is your work shift for SpaceX? Did you just get off work?
Yeah, I usually get off pretty late.
Oh my God, this is so cool. So yay. Okay, I'm gonna kick it off with like a question, and then all the freaks you guys can jump into. But first of all, I want to, like, Tanner, I think you, from talking to Erik, were the one that kind of initiated this really unique group or team of storm chasers to capture data to better understand, like, how can we model supercells better, get data so we can predict tornadoes better, all that kind of stuff. So Tanner, you want to kind of talk about how everything started, and then Erik, you can chime in too with your part.
Yep. Yeah, so it kind of all started with my friend Lou. So he's another like drone racing friend of mine from college.
Yeah.
And his brother Nelson is like really into storms and meteorology. He has been for ages. And so kind of like, honestly, I don't really remember like how it really got started. We just like kind of got talking where Nelson kind of knew that like the storm community like couldn't really get, or was like struggling with getting measurements inside of tornadoes. And he knew like drones could kind of be an option. So he started talking with Lou, and then Lou started talking with me, and then it kind of just all kind of came together like around in like February of 2024.
Oh, that's so awesome. And then how did this guy who's just like north of me, above me, how did he get involved?
Yeah, so at the time, like none of us like Nelson knew a ton about storms and whatnot, but he never actually been storm chasing, and none of us had at the time.
Yeah.
So we knew we needed to be with somebody who would like keep us safe, and especially when we're like wearing goggles, like completely blinded. Like we needed somebody who we could like trust to drive us and not get us killed. And I think, I don't remember how we found Erik, but we found him somehow, and we like reached out to him and asked if he would drive us.
Nice. I love that. So wait, Erik and Tanner, you guys how long were you guys out there researching? And I know you were there for, I think, the Iowa tornadoes where it hit the wind, turbines and everything. Talk about that. And then I want the freaks to ask questions.
Yeah, so we were there for around 2 weeks, like in the middle of May.
Nice.
Yeah, so I gotta give it to Nelson. Nelson is a brilliant kid. I wish he could get on tonight. He just was too busy. I'm not sure what happened trying to get him on, but brilliant minded kid. And he actually did this analysis of what's going to be the top period for them to go out, which, as we know, experience, right, is going to be that first week in June, last week in May. And it just was, as we all know, was this perfect timing. Nelson is really the brain of what the research side of this is, and he's working with NIST. He did an internship with NIST, and this was really his brainchild towards the overall mission. And then Tanner, was the structural guy, the avionics guy, and I'll let him get into that. And then his brother Lou is actually a collegiate champion drone racer, which was flying the quad. So that team, they came to me. And they actually saw me on another podcast, and I was, it was about safety. It was about everything they were looking for. And so, I got to tell this story because when they first emailed me, I'm like, what? No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Like, to me, it sounded like, no offense to a bunch of 17-year-old kids out there, but it sounded like a bunch of 17-year-old kids out there trying to get themselves in trouble, and I didn't really want to be associated. So I was like, but something in my heart was like, I need to follow up on this. And we had a call, all the team, they come to me and then expressed what they were wanting to do. And I'm like, you know, and I remember Tanner holding up the drone said, I'm going to fly this in, and here's the sensors that are on this. And I'm like, wait a minute. They are serious. This is a legit thing. I need to look more into this. And it was what, Tanner, 3 or 4 months of really meetings, getting together. And I'm like, these guys are going to change science. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. And so it was just one of those things where we all came together, kept having calls. We started having chase calls. And then when I started bringing up issues of how to do this, they had an answer because they're all brilliant people. I mean, absolutely geniuses in their field. And Nelson, I can't wait to see what he does in the weather world. He's a junior right now in meteorology, and he's got a mindset of a PhD person that already has a PhD, just the way his mindset is. And his brother, I mean, what we did in a couple of tornadoes this year was absolutely astonishing. I don't want to release the video right now. We briefly released one of the videos, but we've got more videos and more stuff that we're going to release at the summit, which is going to show astonishing video of inside of tornado for the first time. And everybody's going to be blown away. And you know, we're working through some other stuff for this next year, but I don't know if you want to add anything there, Tanner, to how we kind of came together. But really, it was an email and a bunch of meetings, and they sold themselves to be legit scientists and researchers, and the rest is history. And what's great is Karen Kashiba and Dr. Warman, we met with them in the field and saw what they were doing, and we're like, nobody else is doing this. And like that, we're working with them within what, Tanner, 2 hours of meeting with them? We're on a storm. So yeah, that's how legit this is.
That's amazing.
Hey Tanner, I got to ask you. So, I mean, you're the drone expert, and Erik was talking about your drones. So, how many do you have? What do you use? Do you use different drones for going in a tornado as for something else? I mean, tell us, what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, my room is like filled with drones, but the one that we flew into the tornado is like completely, everything on it is designed specifically for intercepting tornadoes. Like the motors, the propellers, the quad body is like custom designed and 3D printed. And everything is really just optimized to like fly in these intense winds, because you can't really just take a drone off the shelf, even if it's a racing drone, and fly into a tornado. It needs quite a bit of like changes on it.
Are they DJI, or are they something special? Or I'm not the DJI, isn't?
No, we like, it's completely custom built.
Wow,
that's cool.
You can't.
What do you have to do different so you can fly it in there? I just am really curious to know about that. What do you got to do to retrofit it?
Yeah, so the entire frame, instead of like having any plastic, it's all just carbon fiber. All the screws are aluminum, like instead of steel. The motors, and so like on a DJI drone, you'll choose like, or I guess DJI chose the motors and the battery and the propellers and everything to be really good for like flight time, stability, and just getting like good footage. But everything kind of changes when you want to go fast and you want to be able to handle really strong winds.
That's a great question. Yes.
The other thing, the other thing I will say that we learned real quick was you know, getting stable inside a tornado is a different avenue than just flying through, right? And so you need to have a kind of a stationary to measure proper winds within that tornado. And you know, one of the concepts that we proved is that can happen. So this was a complete proof of concept mission, and every concept was proved by the team, which is, you know, we had some lesson learned, but you know, these drones they're very, as we learned, they're very susceptible to other things. Like what was different was Tanner was actually flying a fixed wing. We were flying a fixed wing aircraft and dropping the drone off the fixed wing to give it more life in the tornado.
That's
but
cool.
within that, as we learned, you have to land it with the tornado bearing down, and giant hail winds that are buffering it, and then trying to land it and get out of there. There were some issues and there were some fun times, when I'm looking back at Tanner's face and his eyes are about this big around, which we'll get into that with some of the Iowa tornadoes. It's just like, it's bringing these guys and seeing their first tornado. And I got to tell this story because our first ever even close to a tornado was in Colorado, and it was rain wrapped. I could see the left edge, and it's bearing down on us. And all of a sudden, I call it lawn dart. I call it a lawn dart. I was like, hey, we got to go. It's getting dark, can't see. And all of a sudden, I hear the fixed wing come down and just lawn dart. Well, we also had the quad up, and they landed into the field. And then now we got baseball-sized hell falling on us. And I look back, and Tanner's just ear-to-ear grin of just loving everything we're doing. So, yeah, we lawn darted the fixed wing at least once. I don't know if you want to tell that story, Tanner, how you got it landed, but it was fun.
I want to hear it. Yes, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, on that one, we were flying a little bit too late into the night. And I was up there just like we were circling around, like looking for the tornado. And I noticed like I couldn't really see the ground anymore. So I think Erik started like flashing the headlights, and I was like following those flashing headlights to the car. And then like I was pretty much just like aiming to like land like right where the headlights are like shining on the dirt road. And Erik's talking about this lawn dart that came in a little bit too fast, and the plane was just like lawn darted like across the road and into the like corn. But we did land it. So
wow.
And it
do you guys have a picture? I feel like I need to see a picture of this thing, right? Because what I want to know is could you land a person? Like could you take a person and insert them in the tornado?
Not on this plane, but it has to be quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
Oh wow!
Put that full screen. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Did you
can see
engineer that
it.
yourself, Tanner?
Yeah, the plane was I engineered as well. Yeah.
And that's the quad underneath.
My gosh, that's so cool.
That's like $39, right?
I know.
A little bit more.
We're taking donations at the summit. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we need money. Yeah.
So, I want to hear more about how you guys are determining wind speed, because one of the things that is a big problem in aviation. Well, not a problem actually, figured out pretty easily, but it's like where the plane's going and like where the wind pushes it, and you can actually calculate a wind speed and direction from an airplane flying through the sky pretty easily with today's technology. So how is it that you're with a drone able to figure out what the wind speed inside of a tornado is?
Okay, this is a great point, because this is something that we kind of like learned on the way. So like originally I just had like a pitot tube on the end of the drone. Actually, I have it right here. Just this guy.
Yeah, we
right totally
here. On top of Mount Washington to measure wind speed. That was
so this getting. So we found like this works well on like a plane, but on a drone you aren't necessarily flying directly into the wind. So a single pitot tube doesn't work. And so a huge effort that we're doing this year is we're actually we teamed up with NIST, the like National Institute of Standards and Technologies, and we're developing this like custom built like 20-hole pitot tube specifically for like drone, like use on drones in severe weather. So that's going to be a really big thing about next year, is that we're going to be able to get both wind speed and wind direction like at around like 100 times per second as we're flying through the tornado.
That's so cool. So you're basically taking like pressure, because it's a pitot tube, so using like with that pressure differential is how you're able to determine what that wind speed is.
Yes. So we have 20 different differential pressure sensors that are going to be measuring that you basically just measure the pressure, and then there's a lot of like calibration that we'll do in the wind tunnel at NIST, and then you can get that to like correlate with the wind speed and direction.
Very cool.
And part of that too is, of course, the code and the processing power to be able to put all that information, all that information coming in so fast. And of course, Tanner's one of the guys that is writing all that code by hand. And that was, I got to tell a story on him. Was it Iowa or the Duke tornado? I can't remember, Tanner, but we had a communication error, and he's in the back seat and I'm driving. I've got this freaking wall cloud that's, ground scraping. And he goes, "Oh, it's not communicating. It's not communicating." He pulls up his laptop. "Oh, I got to rewrite this code." We're in the back seat of the SUV trying to get this drone out, getting ready the massive tornado getting ready to happen. He's back there rewriting code. And it worked. It worked. I mean, that's one of my stories. I mean, I was like, good Lord. I was like, it was just insane of what he can do and what the whole team can do.
Yeah, I have a picture of me like compiling new code, and there's like a wall cloud. Like we're like on the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this entire everything in this project, like the plane and the drone, like changed continuously like throughout our 2-week deployment. Like as we learn new stuff, like I had the 3D printer in the hotel room, like printing new designs for the plane and the drone and whatnot, and we were just like going because
Tanner, you're so cool. Can we be best friends?
Sure, of course.
Do you want to move to Atlanta? That would be fun.
I used to live in Atlanta.
Oh, well, then come back.
It says the girl with Santa's pants on her head.
Yeah, come back.
I love it. It's
Right.
awesome.
He's a Georgia Tech grad.
Oh, you're so awesome, Tanner. Okay, yes, come back here. By the way, Garrett has a really good question, and I want you to go, Garrett.
Yeah, I was asking, is this like a personal project kind of off books, or is this something that SpaceX is really kind of investing in since they pushed the envelope with space, which is awesome, and trying to get more acquainted with things down here that nobody's trying?
Yeah, this is like entirely a personal project. It actually started like back when I was working at Tesla earlier this year, but it's like completely separate from those companies.
Nice.
I'll pretty much just come home after work and just like work on this until midnight, like every day.
That's crazy. So you built this literally from scratch.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Tanner, I get the feeling we're all going to be working for you one day.
Yeah. Can you teach us? I think in the next Stormfront, like maybe we should have an episode where you literally go like step by step. Okay, step 1 is this. Obviously, for some of the steps, you'll probably have to be here helping us. But that thing looks so cool. I mean, I'm really jealous.
Like if you have any extras you want to donate to our storm chase next year, like we can do that. Or we can like combine forces together and make that happen. I think
Jen, who's going to be the one to fly it? Because I don't think it's going to be me.
I'll do it. Okay. I like it. I think it would be awesome. Oh my God, this is. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Tanner, I got to ask you this. So you cracked me up. I was going to ask you, how'd you get your job at SpaceX? And you're like, yeah, I was just kind of messing around over at Tesla before that. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Okay, so are you and Elon like buds? How are you going from?
Not anymore.
I wish I was buds with him. I've never met him actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd you get it? Was it just like, oh, I'm just going to apply at SpaceX? No big deal. I mean, that sounds like a huge deal.
I mean, SpaceX is hiring. We're trying to hire a lot of people. So
do it, Maz.
Do it.
I feel like you could be the next employee.
I think I've reached the age max there. So
you could do it. Yes, yes, and yes.
I know Tanner's super humble, but I will say this: everything that they've done to this point. To have a meeting with Karen Kashiba and Dr. Warman, amazing people, right? I mean, if you think about the research side of things, and for them in 2 hours to decide what they're doing is groundbreaking, it really is amazing. And that's part of what we're going to talk about at the summit. We're actually going to have a panel of all of us plus them, because I would say the team, I just drove them there, got enough data and correlated it with their data, with the radar data, not only in Greenfield, but also in Duke, that a lot of that information is going to be able to be used for many things, including, improvement on what we're doing. So I know we're joking and having a good time, but I really want to be serious at that point. Like this really really worked. And it's really going to matter in the future, because I do know there's some talks of us working with them in the future. So in NIST, I know there's a bunch of avenues that we went to a conference at Oklahoma State and opened some eyes, and Oklahoma State offered them some stuff. And it's just a testament to what they're doing. Yeah, they're doing it on their own, but that's a huge thing. They're doing it out of goodness of their heart for good reasons, not just for notoriety or anything else.
Erik, I have a big question to come and ask you, but we got to take a break. We got to create a teaser. So we're going to take a quick little break. But if you ever wish you could know what the weather will be like exactly when you reach any point on your road trip, the Drive Weather app makes it happen. Here's how it works. The Drive Weather forecasts the weather for every stop along your route, not just now, but for the time you'll actually be there. Planning your trip just got smarter. And with the app's easy-to-use slider, you can adjust your departure time to see how leaving earlier or later changes the weather conditions you'll encounter. So avoid storms, dodge the snow, hit the road at the perfect time, and you'll get there just wonderfully. So don't just drive smarter, safer, and stress-free. Download the Drive Weather app today and plan your next road trip with precision.
Oh, I didn't see your message yet.
Mesoscaleforecast.com brings us StormNet, a state-of-the-art deep learning model designed to revolutionize severe weather forecasting. The innovative tool is tailored to provide unparalleled real-time predictions of severe weather events, including probability of wind, hail, and tornadoes. And now they've added Hurricane Vision, a cutting-edge hurricane track and intensity prediction system that uses deep artificial intelligence to predict the track and future intensity of tropical cyclones. You've seen us use it on our Storm Front Freaks live outbreak coverage with meteorologist Stormcat 5. Now you can use it as well. Visit Mesoscaleforecast.com and access live data subscriptions. Plus, when you enter the code Stormfront, you'll receive a 10% discount for life. Yes, for life. Go to Mesoscaleforecast.com.
The Stormfront Freaks is now available on the Weather Store. Come shop our catalog of shirts, hats, and hoodies, all with our Stormfront Freaks logo and Outbreak logo. Plus, you'll find all your other favorite weather geek and storm chasing gear, footwear, and accessories. Visit the Weather Store at thewxstore.com, the exclusive supplier of the Stormfront Freaks.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
We're back. I love that part. We're back. Okay. Now, before we dive into more questions, I just have to say, if you're struggling to find the perfect gift for anyone, it doesn't matter if they're a weather geek or not, go to the Weather Store, buy them some Stormfront Freak gear. We have all the coolest things ever. And then also purchase them a Storm Chaser Summit ticket and send them to Kansas City. And they're just going to be so excited and so happy. You're just going to be their favorite person. So that's what I think you should do. Yes, do that. Now, we ended the first part of this with Erik talking about some of the amazing research and the uniqueness that you guys did and what you guys found out there and how you did it. What differentiates you from like what Reed is doing with flying in drones and stuff in the data? Like, do a quick comparison of what you guys saw out there with research, right? Because I know you partnered with Karen and team. But what are you excited about, not just with your research, but also like, how does it different? And then what is in store for 2025? That's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. Tanner, go ahead.
I don't know too much about like the details of what Reed is doing. I know he's like also flying drones in the tornadoes. I'm not sure if those are like as like custom like designs. I'm not sure if they're like specifically designed for flying into tornadoes or if they're just like normal racing drones. I think one of the big differences though, like they are using more off-the-shelf sensors for measuring things, and we're kind of going down like a more custom route, just because of like the way that we are chasing, and the way that we want to collect data.
So Tanner, I don't want to nerd out too much, but like give us like some specifics. Like what does custom mean? How are you tailoring like the drone, the sensors to make them? And I don't want to reveal any trade secrets here, but like how are you making them more tornado proof, tornado resistant, or friendly to like measuring the extreme conditions of a tornado?
Yeah. So for example, like the sensor we're using for measuring the wind speeds, it's like a shape that has like never really been done before, and we're kind of like working with some of the experts at NIST to like develop this. So it's kind of like innovating in some way, or at least like putting a spin on the way that people usually like make pitot tubes. And we're also like using pretty extensively like resin and metal 3D printing to like create like all kinds of like internal like fluid channels in these parts to like get the weight down, which hasn't really been done too much as far as I'm aware on drones. So we're using like several kind of unique like technologies in our drones to get stuff pretty optimized.
Does that make your like drone casualty numbers go down, or like how many have you lost? I mean, have you like,
that's a good question.
Here's $1,000.
I was gonna ask that too. Like, are we reusing these? Are they one time? Totally good one.
Oh yeah, we're reusing them. They've like the one that went through the tornado, like just had some zip ties break pretty much.
Wow.
Other than that, it was fine.
That's cool.
Yeah, another one like dropped from like pretty high up, chasing the like carbon tornado, and that one we just like fixed in the car and flew it the next day. So they're pretty reasonable.
I like what you guys are doing. I think is so incredible, and it's so neat with the technology that is available to us. But with people like you, Tanner. Oh, look at that, Erik. What are you showing?
So this is our recovery from the carbon tornado.
Okay.
It took us through mud roads, and it took us about 45 minutes to find it. But what's unique is the GPS on these things. We're able to recover them.
Wow.
And we have Tanner, and those guys built this thing to recover. We're not just flying in and creating damage or anything like that. This is all custom to the point where we can go do that. We were in a carbon. It fell from 400 feet. We were able to pick it up, find it to the exact GPS location, picked it up, and we were back on the road chasing. So that's what's a little different about this, and what he was saying. It's just the way they're built, they're custom. The one thing I will add about the Reed thing, this isn't a negative on Reed at all, but it's what we're doing is something like with NIST, they're really looking at that lower third of the tornado where the damage and the destruction happens, right?
Yeah.
So one thing we're learning and where we're wanting to get that data is a little bit different. Reed's more into the synoptics and the mesoscale features of why the tornado happens and all the data around that. Where we're trying to get why does that tornado destroy a building, right?
Yeah.
It's a different type of measurement versus what Reed's doing. So not a negative on Reed. He just has a different scope from what we're doing, and that has a lot to do with the people that we're talking to and the data that they need. And so we're tailoring what we're doing. And this goes back to safety too, guys. The people listening here, you can't just fly a drone into a tornado because you feel like it. Although I know people have tried, but there's FAA stuff that we have to worry about here, right? We're working with the FAA. There's research things. You've got to have a reason, not just getting video. We're not just getting video. We're getting research, and it's being QC'd. And it goes back to like what Tanner's talking about, having the right measurements. So yeah, you're seeing this and we're talking about it, but what I did, I don't want people just flying drones in the tornado because you think it's cool. Like that's not what the purpose of this is, and so that's a little bit different from what other people may be doing. There were some other drone projects that really got near tornado environment where we're really focusing on why does that building come apart at that lower third of the tornado. And so if you guys have questions on that, I think we can help a little bit.
So Erik,
go ahead, Brady.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say well, first of all, flying a drone in a tornado is pretty cool, but I agree that shouldn't be the only reason. Is the reason like at the core of the research is it trying to make, like I almost draw an analogy to like how Florida and other areas are making you build cinder block houses now because they've shown hurricanes can't necessarily destroy that. Is the goal to make buildings more tornado proof? Is that kind of the goal of trying to figure out that lower third of the tornado?
Yeah. So,
No, go ahead, Tanner.
Yeah. So like right now, like we really don't actually have numbers for things like the vertical winds like inside of a tornado. So it's like really hard to engineer structures to survive a tornado if you don't actually know what the like wind loading is. So that's like the number one thing that we really want to do is like get that like low surface wind data, both in like the horizontal winds and the vertical winds.
So I've got two questions, Tanner, since you're up, as we're talking about drones, because obviously they are becoming much more readily available, much less expensive. Technology is getting better for chasers, so they're getting used a lot more in chasing. And so we're seeing a lot more drone footage and all of that. So the two questions are this: what do you wish you could add to your drone? Because Mr. SpaceX, what kind of technology can you add that you don't have yet, but you wish you had, or you think it's coming, that's going to make it so much better? And then number two, for all the chasers out there that have their little quadcopters with HD cameras and all that stuff, a tip that you've maybe learned chasing with Erik this past year, what's a tip that you've learned that you'd be like, hey, this would be good to pass this on to other chasers. If you're going to fly a drone up near a tornado, do X, Y, Z. So first, what do you want? And then what's the tip?
I definitely think the future of drones is going to be making the controls a lot more accessible. So like specifically on the racing drones that we're using, it requires like quite a lot of skill to even like fly it at all. But I really think the future is going to be where like anyone could have a like high performance, or I guess any like researcher or like storm chaser could have like a high performance drone like this they could use to like contribute towards measuring tornadoes, because like Otis project isn't going to be able to measure every tornado, and that's really what you want when you like are trying to get valuable data. You need bigger data sets. So a future where it's a lot more accessible would be great. And I guess like a tip I would have is like, in terms of like, if you're looking to fly something like kind of like this, is definitely like practice in the simulator a lot. Me and Lou both have thousands of hours in the simulators practicing racing, and that helps a ton with like getting down like the muscle memory and the stick feeling that you really do need like when you get into like some intense situations like you do around a tornado.
So Tanner, you mentioned the future there, and this question is for both of you, but Tanner, I'll have you go first. Tell me where you see everything 2027, 2030. What do you guys envision for the future of everything here? Not everything like libraries. I mean, just tell me, about what you're doing, about maybe add drones in there too, but about what you guys really want to see.
I would say in terms of like what we're doing as a project, like 2027, I want our reliability to be at a point where if we see a tornado, we have a drone in it. And like, no matter if it's like rain wrapped or if it's a massive wedge, I want the system both to be reliable and like us to have like a really like deep understanding of like the capability of the system, knowing like what size tornado we could go through, and just like having everything be super reliable.
Awesome. Erik, okay, you too, because I want to hear from you on this. What would you really like to see for the future?
Oh,
you're
Erik,
muted.
I'm mute.
I got muted. I'm sorry. So really, to piggyback on what he said, one of our biggest issues we were having is, as you guys know, I'm very big on safety, and the carbon tornado, like we actually didn't get inside it because I pulled the plug. I'm like, hey, I've got one escape route. It's a mud road. I got 3 tornadoes behind me, which one ended up being the Greenfield tornado, and I escape routes, right? So I want to be able to make decisions better, because I know their capabilities are a little more better on the safety side, where I don't have to make decisions that may put anybody at risk. There's a couple of times this year that, I got a little closer than I wanted, or I went down a road I didn't really want to go down with mud and whatnot. So the one thing that Tanner and I are working on right now is our vehicle, right? So we rented a vehicle to do this, and so we need capabilities. One thing that Tanner and I want to do is be able to catch the drones as we're moving away, so they can fly it and then get to us because of safety. If I need to exit, I don't have to wait on anything. I'm out of the way. They're flying it to us, and we can catch it as we move. That's one of the things we're working on, just on a vehicle side of things. A lot of that goes back to money, right? You got to have the money to fund that side of it. So it's, within that, it all goes back to research. And so, there's some little things, but I really think for our first 2 weeks that we went out, we accomplished 99% of what we were looking to do. So now it's just building upon that, getting the funding, and giving that research data to NIST and to, I'm not sure what they're calling their new team, but, Josh and Karen and Josh Akins, that team that they had together with the mobile radars to save lives. That's what this is all about, is being able to get those structures, getting that data, what is going on with that vertical lift in the tornado, and all the data that the scientists have been wanting for generations. If we can get that over the next 2 or 3 years, I feel like we can add to the research that's already been going on already from, amazing scientists.
And as for funding, it sounds like, dear Elon, my credit.
I love you, man. Serena, you're up. Or we'll have Dan go for it.
Okay. Real quickly, I'm curious about the weatherproofing you've got, and if you've had any water intrusion when you flew, and then also kind of a follow-up, the minimal damage that you mentioned, can you attribute that to material or something else?
Yeah, so all of in terms of like the water ingress part, like the entire drone is like, all the electronics are inside of this like aerodynamic pod. But like additionally on top of that, so like that will like block out all the water, obviously, but we've also coated all of the like circuit boards on the inside with this like conformal coating, which prevents water from shorting anything out. Sorry, what was your other question?
The minimal damage that you mentioned, I guess you only had some zip ties break. What do you attribute that to, like the carbon fiber?
Yeah, so I mean, when the drone falls from like a high height or at a high speed, something's got to give. So in this case, it was zip ties, but that's exactly what you want to break. You want something like cheap and easy to replace like that. So that's kind of the way that the drone is designed, where we're always aiming to break the cheapest thing.
It's all physics.
That makes sense.
It's all physics.
Tanner, I feel like you need to teach a master class. Go ahead, Serena. I think you need to teach a master class. I'm just going to be honest.
I agree.
I'd sign up for it, no question. So while you're talking about like breaking things that are easily replaceable or cheaper or what have you, you're talking about all these new ways you're measuring wind speed and tracking it and doing all that in the pitot tubes. Why not just like GPS tracking? Why does that not work in this situation?
Yeah, so GPS like based like wind sensing works when you have like a steady wind, but inside of a tornado, like we're flying through it at like 140 miles per hour, and then all the winds inside of it are just like, and all the turbulence are just like buffeting us all around. And in that case, so like for the GPS wind sensing, you have to assume that the drone is like moving with the wind, but that doesn't actually happen when you're going through turbulence or like in very high like wind shear. That's really what this probe is for, is that we can get like that higher resolution like wind data out of this.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
This is so fun and so geeky. I love it.
I know. I feel like you guys are going to blow everyone's minds at the National Storm Chaser Summit. Yes, Erik, say something.
Can I give a teaser at the summit? What they may say?
Yes. Oh my God! Can you message that to all of us?
What is that?
Wait, what is that?
I don't want to. That's in the
Looks
middle
like
of
a
the tornado.
demon. Is that a dragon?
Right?
Wow.
It's the middle
Is
of
that
the
like
tornado.
is that the Milky Way?
Is that looking up at the sky? Are you in the middle of it, like Helen Hunt, and she's looking up at the sky?
Reverse. We are in the. I don't know what the flight level we were at. I know it was like right at 500 or 400. I think we were 400, looking down at the ground.
Wow,
Holy
that's
crap.
grounding. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So just
I
a
got
little
it now.
teaser.
Wow. That's a
just
good
a little
teaser.
Just a little teaser of what you're going to see at the summit.
That's
Which means
sexy.
you should buy.
Erik,
tickets, guys.
I'll just say this, Erik. If you need someone to like hold onto the drone and fly around the room to like test it to see if it can carry someone, I'll be your guy. Just let me know.
Oh my God. This is so exciting. So I have a personal question for. Oh, yes, lightning round, but I have to
No.
get this question in.
Go ahead. That was premature lightning. That was.
Phil, I think
that was
there
30
was
miles
lightning.
away.
I think there was some thunder snow
That was
outside
30
my window.
That
Phil.
was 30 miles
I was
away.
There
We
was
got
some
time.
thunder snow outside my window.
I like it. So Tanner, I feel like I don't know when you sleep because you're SpaceX, you got a full-time job, and then you're 3D printing creatively, like doing all these amazing things. And I feel like you've got the storm chasing bug now. Do you feel like you're eventually going to shift somewhere?
I mean, I've started like driving some like pretty insane hours to get out and storm chase on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like on the 2 days in like New Mexico, like one of those weekends I drove like 29 hours, and then the other one I drove like 28.
Tanner, that's insane.
Yeah, I've got the bug for sure.
He calls me. I'm at work, right? I think I'm covering a hurricane, and he calls me. He goes, "Hey, Erik, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in the middle of a hurricane," and I'm like, he goes, "I'm driving." I was like, "Oh, you coming to the hurricane?" "No, I'm going to Roswell, New Mexico." And I look at the models, and I'm like, "Okay, man, have a good drive." And it was a great supercell. I think you saw some good structure, but I was just like, but I don't want to stop him. It's just like any new chaser, right? You're like, go after it. That's how you learn. You learn how not to chase by doing it wrong. I'm just saying. But so I like told him, I was like, dude, go learn. And so, but
There's
it's
a
so
lot
funny.
of thunder snow.
Jim Cantor would be flipping his lid.
Oh my God. I love you, Erik.
There's
this
another
is so-
one. What is going on?
You know what? Let's just not even continue the lightning round and see how many times MJ does it. I feel like
I'm doing it. Sorry.
oh, that's you.
I don't want to put that on MJ. Don't put that on me, MJ.
MJ, I love you. Okay, lightning round. Okay, so I just have to say, Phil, who usually like runs these shows, has the most epic games ever, and it's always exciting for them. And one of my favorite games was, well, they're all really great, but I think it was porn star name or retired hurricane name. Now we're going to PG it here. It was something like that, Phil. We're going to PG it here. So we're going to say it's either, and this is for you, Tanner and Erik. And then if and the Stormfront Freaks can kind of say things too.
You did give me a good idea though, Jen. Thanks.
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
that. Yeah.
You're welcome. So I'm going to say a name. It's just a first name. And you have to tell me, is it a famous actor or is it a retired hurricane name? And this is going to go all the way back to 1954. So there's some old ones there. We can't Google the things. Are you guys
Back
ready?
to Maz's days.
Yeah, Maz's days. From back in Maz's days.
I love this song.
I know. I like to jump the gun. Okay, are you guys ready? Erik, Tanner?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Janet. Is Janet an actor or a retired hurricane?
I'd say hurricane.
Oh, good job, Tanner. Crap. I forget you guys are really smart. I need to think of like you do calculus.
It sounds like a hurricane.
I know. Okay, let's see if
Are you sure there's not an actress named Janet somewhere?
Well, okay. So I need to do this. Yeah. Well, it's an actress and a retired hurricane.
Wait, what's the actress?
Well. I didn't do that. I was just going by retired hurricane. So if it's a retired hurricane, you tell me. If it's not,
Details.
an actor. Yeah.
It could be
Yeah,
Janet
it was
Leigh.
Cat 5. Mama G got
Janet
it. Cat
Kidder.
5 back in 1955.
Janet
Mama G
Ooh.
got it.
Wow.
Mama
Is
G. I like
Is it
it.
wrong? Is it wrong? My mind went to Janet Reno for some reason, and it was like she's not an actor.
So if it was a retired hurricane, you think it's a retired hurricane?
She might have been on
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live once. I don't know.
I fucking love Saturday Night Live.
Janet.
Let's do Marilyn.
Ooh.
Obviously, there's
Actress.
anyone else? So Tanner, what do you think?
I would agree.
No, it's a retired hurricane, 1995.
Duh.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, this
Marilyn?
is good. Okay.
I was thinking Marilyn Monroe.
I know.
Yeah,
me too.
Marilyn.
Me too.
She's not an actor.
She's. I don't know. But anyway, okay. What about Lenny?
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny.
Hurricane.
Hurricane. What do you think, Tanner?
I'd say hurricane.
Okay.
Mm.
You guys are right. Wow.
Oh.
It was.
Sorry, I'm trying
Wait,
to play,
which
I'm
is it?
trying to play your facial expressions,
I know.
Jan. So because I don't know the
Play
answers.
poker, maybe. This is really fun.
Which is it?
No, it was a hurricane back in 1999.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
Jen,
Yeah.
I just got
But
news
that
for you.
takes
You're killing this game more than I did because my answers people just made up. At least these have like actual answers. So
Yeah.
it's killing it.
Yeah. Okay. Jennifer.
Hurricane.
Actress.
It's got to be actress.
It is
Play
actress.
the odds.
But there was a Hurricane Jennifer back in the 80s. Didn't get retired, but there was a Hurricane Jennifer. Yeah. Okay. We'll do two more. Oh, you guys are so fun. Let's do Ingrid.
Oh.
I know it's tricky. This is
I'd say
No,
hurricane.
that's-
again.
I'm saying hurricane, but I don't think it's retired.
Yeah.
Oh.
that
I
sounds
think
right.
hurricane.
Hurricane.
yeah, it is a hurricane.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that one.
2013. Yay.
Weirdly I remember that in like the back of my mind. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. What
what
about
was the go ahead.
Betsy? I love Garrett. Garrett always knows the answer.
Yeah, he does. That's a smart boy right there.
Yeah,
My
he
mind
does.
went to Betsy
Aren't you
Ross.
on
I'm like,
Jeopardy? Aren't you on Jeopardy, Garrett?
She wasn't an actress, Eric. I can tell you that much. That I
Garrett,
She's a
tell us.
sportscaster.
Yeah, Ingrid hit Mexico. Good job, Mama G.
By the way,
This one's
Betsy
an
Ross
actress.
is a sportscaster.
You say actress?
hurricane.
It's
Betty White?
1965. Betsy. Yay! You guys are pretty good. You guys did so awesome. Yay.
What was the final score?
I don't know. It was just
2.
for fun. Everyone gets a medal, guys. Everyone gets a medal.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
saying,
so wonderful.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. All right. So you can catch our Stormfront Freaks. Oh, wait. We got MJ that's going to do that. So I can't believe this is the end of the interview process, and I don't like it. But Tanner, can you hang around for a little bit? Because there's more to the podcast. There's more to the podcast. We're not done.
And Eric.
And Eric. Well, I know Eric will, but I just want
Hello.
Tanner. Tanner's like, you guys are both my
Eric's
new
a
best
veteran.
friend. Yeah. Yeah.
He knows the
Eric's
routine.
going to hang out. So, Eric, can you tell us where we can find you, follow you, buy tickets maybe to the National Storm Chaser Summit?
Is this my plug? Is this my shameless plug?
Sure. Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Okay, so the Chaser Summit, it's well established now. A lot of fun this year. It's going to be crazy. I've got so much going on. We'll talk about that later. But you can find me on social at Erik Fox 2000. That's Erik with a K. And then Facebook, it's kind of personal. I don't do too much weather, but find me on X there. And then follow the Chaser Summit page. It's chasersummit.org. And then you got all the links there. That will give you tickets. Make sure you get your tickets now because we're about 3 weeks away from it going to 175. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun this year. If you got any questions, hit me up on X.
Awesome. I love it. Tanner, where can we like follow you and like request you to do like 3D cool drone stuff?
You can follow the project on Twitter. We're the Otis Project.
Okay.
And I think I have a very old Twitter handle somewhere. So you might be able to find that. I don't know.
Awesome, Tanner, you're so
Is that
cool.
like a hunt? Is that like a treasure hunt to go on to find this old handle of yours?
I like that. I like
hunt it
that.
down.
Chat, let's find it. Everyone in the chat, make sure you go on and find the handle of Tanner Beard.
Yes, do it, guys. All right, awesome. So you can get all this fun stuff on the website. We'll have all the links and everything. But stay with us, guys. There's more to come.
Don't miss Vintage Stormfront Freaks.
This one here, we do have a few dents in the new Suburban, but my truck, that hood's a trophy.
You might as well put 2 GoPros on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what it looks like.
So I'm like, I'm going to drive this thing into a tornado, and then they all start laughing.
Good. You'll be the only sober one by the end of the night.
In a world where tornadoes and hurricanes and blizzards run rampant, destroying everything in their path, one man and one team of freaks stands in their way, covering it all on one show.
We have a confirmed tornado
From afar and from up close. That man is Stormcat 5. That team is the Stormfront Freaks. And that show, this show, is Outbreak. And Outbreak starts.
This is Researcher Cameron Nixon, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks.
Let's take a drive under the moon. Let's take a drive under the somber sky. Let's take a drive under the moon.
Oh, that hat. Well, you know what that means. Time for Weather Fools. Hey, we're only going to do a couple tonight because I'm going to put a shameless plug in. Everybody be saving your Weather Fools for the end of January, where it is the Weather Fool show. So where you are all online, everybody gets to participate. We're going to have some fun with this. And I want you all to be thinking too in the future how you were once a weather fool. All right, enough of that. I don't want to give too much of a tease away.
Matt, should we just like go out and like, dress up in like a full costume and just go, drive in snow and like slip on ice and stuff like that?
Yeah, Brady, I'm sensing a cat outfit for you. Just saying. Right now.
Please no.
Hey, so we're gonna go with 2 tonight, and we've decided to give it to, what does that say? Felicious.
Felicious.
I'm Felicious tonight. Yeah. So this first one, borderline weather fool on this, but I call this reason 185 to not have cats.
Oh,
and
no.
this cat decided to jump in this newly brought in Christmas tree for this family, and the cat's in the tree,
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, there's no lights on the tree for it to chew yet. For those of you that are familiar with Christmas Vacation. But
Phil, don't you mean unfortunately?
Unfortunately.
You have
Oh
way
my
too
God, I
much
love
time
you,
in your hands,
Brady.
Brady.
Brady, I love you so much.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Bertie.
right.
Thanks for
All
that.
right.
And then the other one I've got, I call this Revenge of the Snow Squall. But I'll tell you guys, snow squalls can be nasty.
Yes.
Like just bite your ass out of nowhere if you're not aware and weather aware of what's going on your travel route. So this video's got a backup. This was in Pennsylvania, Erie County, Pennsylvania. Just a backup of a lot of semi-trucks and cars because there was a massive pileup involved here because of a snow squall where it just instantaneously became a whiteout condition. So you guys just got to be careful for these when you hear these. Take heed. Heed your warning.
Those are good ones. There's some good jackknives in there. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
and
go
Maz,
out on a limb,
Maz, I got to say this. So you're teasing your Maz podcast takeover into January. All I'm hearing is that it's okay for me to now bring 100 weather fools to the episode instead of the normal 2 to 5 that I normally bring. Is that
Please,
right?
and you never know who the guests will be.
I think Baz, I think we should have to do one weather fool like for yourself. Like you have to find a video of you doing something silly.
Or tell a story. I have a really big weather fool that I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
That I was a weather fool, and I will wait to say it on your show.
Please do wait for it because that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for all that stuff. By the way, great video. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to be seeing a lot more of the videos of what Phil just showed with all these Arctic outbreaks coming across the lakes. Anyway, hey, if you want to catch the video on that, you can check us out on stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 224 in the show notes. Back to you.
Woohoo! I love it, Maz. You're amazing. Okay, so the fact that I can't believe it's December and it's almost 2025, I wanted to do our next segment, a quick round robin. We each get like 60 seconds to talk about one of the most impactful weather events or memorable for you this year, whether you were chasing, whether you're not chasing, it impacted you where you live, you were traveling, whatever that looks like. So I'm going to kick it off with cool looking Erik Fox over there. Erik, you were chasing, you clearly just describing everything you did, in storm chasing, saw some amazing things. What was like the most memorable moment, whether it was good or bad, or just interesting weather pattern you noticed this year?
Well, the 2 weeks we were out was absolutely amazing. I think there was maybe 4 days we didn't chase.
Yeah.
And I will say the event in Iowa, the Greenfield Day, the tornado, looking to the south and seeing 2 more tornadoes on the ground and looking back and seeing these guys do their thing, Tanner, his expression on his face of seeing a stovepipe ripping up the ground and knowing what they were doing. They were in awe, their jaws were down, but they were getting ready. And I got a great video of them launching, hearing the sounds of them just amazed and how much fun they were having. The instant storm chasers right there on that day. And then seeing the whole freaking wind turbines just ripped up by the Greenfield tornado is just absolutely first time I've seen anything with that much power.
Oh my gosh, I love it, Erik. So cool. Tanner, you chasing, doing all the fun things. What was like your most incredible moment being like, wow, like we really captured this, or that tornado was amazing, did the structure, what was really impressive to you?
Yeah, the tornado at East Duke. So like before we actually went for the intercept with the drone, there was this time where it looked like to me that it was about to form right in front of us.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I was like, wow, we are really out here storms right now. And I mean that whole event was just it was such a beautiful tornado, and the first tornado that we were able to get a drone in. So that was the success of the project and just a great storm to see.
I love that. That's awesome, Tanner. All right, Felicious. Felicious. Was it maybe the bumper coming off of your car? I mean, what was
No, that was not the highlight.
I just
I have to, and I don't know if this will be a broken record, but obviously that Greenfield, Iowa tornado.
Yeah.
I'm sharing footage from Reed Timmer's YouTube site
Yeah.
of that multi-vortex tornado that basically, as Erik was talking about, ripped down the wind turbines, the wind farm.
It's just insane.
And the drone footage, I think this was done by Jordan Hall.
Mhm.
But just to me, this was also the tornado that Josh Werman and Karen Kasiba's Doppler on wheels basically measured the 300 mile per hour winds.
Mhm.
Even though it was just for a brief second, certainly the highest wind speeds ever recorded in a tornado, and just some data and some visuals from that tornado, and unfortunately very devastating as well in Greenfield. But just all of those things combined, to me, that was probably the most dramatic storm event of this year.
Yeah, no, I remember watching that and just my jaw was on the ground. It was just so incredible. And one of my friends actually, works for a wind turbine company. I'm like, did you see that? Like, it just absolutely fascinating. I would love to toss it to Brady, and I see Brady there. Brady, you started Outbreak this year, which it's been absolutely incredible. You've covered like every single weather, disaster and event. What was the most impactful for you?
Yeah, thanks, Jen. It's been a crazy year for weather in general, and I think by far the most impactful for me was Hurricane Milton, just because I was, I'd always wanted to experience a hurricane, and I find it like it was always kind of one of those things where I wanted to do it from afar, but this time I actually went down and granted we were about 90 miles away from where the center of Hurricane Milton made landfall. But, my grandparents have a place down there. And so we went down there and stayed at their place. And it was the fact that, the wind was crazy, but it was also just the storm surge and watching the water just start to rise. So I'll just play this video right here.
Yeah.
And we were just in our drive, like literally this is the driveway of where we were staying. And that's the ocean that's just in the street. And I mean, that's only 5 feet of storm surge, guys. So, more like you double that and you get water that is in the house. But it was just seeing the power of a hurricane. I have never experienced anything like that in my life. And it was so much more powerful than I thought it was going to be. And it's just, I mean, for anyone that's hurricane chasing, just make sure you know what you're doing. Because hurricanes are, like tornadoes you can get out of the way of. Hurricanes, you I mean, you can get out of the way of them for sure, but you got to make sure you're in a good spot, right? If you're going to chase a hurricane, you got to know what you're doing. You got to make sure you have a backup plan. And obviously we did it all responsibly, but hurricanes, it just is, we weren't even close to the center, and just seeing 5 feet of storm surge, the ocean coming on shore, just unbelievable thing to experience.
Yeah, Brady, I remember when you were messaging us in our private Stormfront Freaks chat, you're just like, should we leave? Should we not leave? Like, it was a very scary situation. And I remember that. That was very impactful too. Yes, Felicious, you have one more thing you would like to talk to us about.
So I think I'm getting corrected on that drone footage. Erik, you might know too, I'm not sure, but that Greenfield tornado, maybe it wasn't Jordan, might have been Mike Scantlin.
Yeah, it was I'm pretty sure it was Mike.
Apologies there. Regardless, two great drone videographers, and both Mike Scantlin and Jordan, but sounds like it was Mike, so my apologies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of different things going on. Serena. Okay, so I went storm chasing with Serena, the Stormfront Freaks, but I was in her car, and she is a badass driver. She's one of the very few I trust driving me in and out of storms.
She is.
Yeah, truly. So Serena, I know we went storm chasing. I know you've experienced other things where you live. What was like one of those events, and maybe it wasn't even when you were out chasing or doing anything, but just watching it and monitoring it. What was the most impactful, storm or event in 2024 for you?
Yeah, I came up with 3 answers. One has been repeated multiple times, and that's just the multivorticity in Greenfield. Like, that just did something that, to see the pictures out of like the Thomas Grisoulas tornado book, Dead Man Walking type of thing, like in real life, it was mind blowing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is just remembering Helene and what it did in places like Asheville and places in interior, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, I think has been crazy, and how they are still having a lot of problems down there. But for me, the most impactful storm for me personally is not a weather storm, but was a solar storm. Ooh. And that was when I got to see that really good solar storm we had in May, where they were seeing it all the way down to like Texas and Mexico. I was in the air for it, and I got to see it from the airplane. And it was like bucket list check done. Like I always wanted to go to Iceland and see the Northern Lights, and like the show I got that night was that kind of a thing. I'm still going to Iceland, don't worry, I'm gonna go check it out, but
yeah,
that was not on my bingo card for this year, and that was pretty wild.
I think we all need to go flying with Serena whenever she goes on a trip. We just need to follow her, because it wasn't only that you captured that, but wasn't it one other thing, Serena? I swear to God, like every time you were on a plane this year, you were like, guess what, guys, I saw this incredible thing. We're like, holy crap. She sent us photos in the chat, and it was absolutely amazing. It was
we got caught in the big gust front that came through in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And that was like just a couple days before. That was also in May.
Yeah.
And so we were watching like the plane rock, and the baggage carts were tumbling and stuff like that, and it was pretty wild. So yeah, it's been a fun year.
That's exciting. We need to be around Serena always. I love that so much. So Maz, we're going to bring it to you. Maz, you're so awesome and you're so wonderful. You've covered and seen so many things in your life, but what was the event in 2024 when you either watched it on TV, you experienced it yourself, that you're just like, holy crap, I've never seen anything like that. I've never experienced it. It could be weather, could be not weather, could be atmospheric space, all the things.
Yeah, I'm going to preface it first because I remember studying before Katrina hit how if a Cat 5 ever hit New Orleans, we studied that.
Yeah.
And so when it happened, the daylight hadn't occurred yet, and it was like, doesn't look like much happened, and it was like, what? So for me, this year it was Helene.
Yeah,
and it was something where we always think of Florida, we think of storm surge, but how often do we really think of the potential of what Helene did to the Carolinas? I mean, Interstate 40 is still closed and may not open till next year sometime.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I just have to say, and I really feel for the people down there. It's cold now, and a lot of people are still without power, without all kinds of stuff. So our prayers still go out to the folks down there who witnessed Helene firsthand. So
yeah, no, absolutely, Maz. Helene, and it's one of those things too with Helene. I mean, we were Atlanta, where I am. Like we were supposed to it was supposed to track more north, but it made more of a right-hand turn, which caught a lot of people off guard too. So it was a devastating storm. All right, I'm going to toss it to Dan. Dan joined us for the storm chase too, but he also chases all the time. Dan, you've seen a lot of incredible, amazing, devastating storms, events. What was it this year that surprised you, amazed you? Whether it was a tornado or hurricane, just the pattern in general, and what was that one thing for you this year?
Well, I'm not going to pick a specific event, but I'm going to say that just the fact that we've had so many storms this year, whether it's hurricanes or convective storms, tornadoes, that have just been so powerful. It's just, it kind of blows my mind how powerful they are and how many people they've affected.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it makes me nervous for the future and just the trends that we're seeing in general. So Yeah, it's one of those where you decide to live. Like I always look if I'm going to be in a floodplain, or I look at the history of like, when was the last flood here? Is there a risk? Like I tell any of my friends that are buying a house, like you got to look at not just flooding, but the weather risks that are there. Are you prepared for that? And do you have the right insurance for that too?
Well, and I feel like too, Jen, to your point, I think this year is like a year people are going to look back and say, names from this year: Greenfield, Helene, Milton, right? That's how we associate weather. Is like, hey, do you remember Milton? Do you remember these, these names? And there's so many names from this year. It's going to be hard to pick.
Yeah, it really, really is. And Garrett, I know you've experienced a lot yourself. And just like Brady said, it's been one of those years where, and Dan and everyone, it's just been just wow. Like, scientists, meteorologists have their jaw dropped at what we've seen. What has been most impactful to you?
I'd say, first chasing with Phil back in the spring in a spontaneous space. So that was a wild day. And then, of course, to echo Serena's sentiments, the aurora in May and October, from a photographer standpoint, being able to actually see that here in Virginia, which is something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And then, of course, Helene, because where it hit, I'm like an hour and 20 minutes from, East Tennessee, Unicoi, in that neck of the woods, and just seeing the devastation that came through this area, which is unheard of. Nobody ever expected anything like that to make its way this far inland, with that level of destruction, and it's just ripped up everything. But on the other side of the coin, seeing the resilience, that we kind of have in this area, everybody coming together to help one another, and strangers coming to help one another, it's wild. I mean, I know people that are still to this day running things back and forth, to the Carolinas and to East Tennessee, and and it's crazy. There's people still sitting down there camped out, in tents because they don't have anywhere, and they're still waiting. So that's probably going to be the biggest impact, weather-wise, that I've seen this year, is just something so close to home.
Yeah.
Hey, Garrett, can I interrupt for a second? What do people still need down there?
Everything. I mean, everything was ripped away from them. I mean, clothing, clothing's probably the biggest thing. And then, of course, cleaning supplies. And, the biggest thing, I think, just everyday things, that we take for granted. I mean, they were just completely uprooted out of nowhere, and unfortunately a lot of the areas, in parts of East Tennessee, they're not, high income areas. So the people who had minimal lost a lot more, I would say, than everybody. So that's kind of the stuff you really don't get to see on the mainstream media. They're not showing everything, but these people are still at a complete loss. And
have the donations slowed?
It's starting to slow down, but this is going to take years and years for people to recover and try to get back. And luckily roads are starting to be rebuilt, but there's still, like I said, interstate issues and road issues, and then especially like parts of Southwest Virginia through Damascus and that area. That's a popular tourist attraction for people hiking the Appalachian Trail. They completely ripped out roads there, and these construction companies, a lot of them are taking it out of the goodness of their heart to come in and not take a dime and start rebuilding these roads with all their equipment and manpower. So once again, I think it shows their resilience in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, no. And I've heard too that I have a lot of friends that have family there, and they need just about everything. And I know it's slowed. And once, after a week or two, all the media attention moves to something else, I mean, they're still recovering. It's going to take, years for some of them. So yeah, if there's anything that anybody can do to help, that would be wonderful. And I'm going to wrap this up as I'm losing my voice. There were a lot of amazing things this year, devastating. But for me, storm chasing with the freaks, which I absolutely love all of you, but we had been chasing, all day and in a really tense tornado emergency. But when we were traveling back north, to go back to our hotel, we caught the most beautiful supercell, the entire structure and all the lightning and everything. And we just all had our cameras, and it was just the most peaceful, amazing moment with some of the most incredible people on this planet. And it was like just a moment of serenity and peace, viewing, what Mother Nature just put in front of us. And it was just one of those magical moments in time. So I know there was a lot of, devastation this year, but that was a very amazing and peaceful moment for me. So
well said.
I will end it at that. And before we go, I love you guys. This has been such an amazing podcast episode, and my voice has made it almost.
You're doing so well, Jen. It's been amazing.
Give a lot of love to Jen in the chat. Everyone in the chat, give a lot of love to Jen. She did amazing.
Oh my God, I love you guys. I know. So I want Erik to say something first about the Storm Chaser Summit, and then Phil and Brady. There's some new things coming too. So Erik, you go first.
So something I left out earlier was we do things new at the Storm Chaser Summit, and I need to also give Jen a shout out. She was added to the board of directors this past year. And so Jen has really been a great resource, not only for me, but the board and insights, especially on the social media. And that's why you're seeing an uptick. We actually hired a social media manager and whatnot just to put out the information. So I really want to thank Jennifer for who she is and what she does within the weather community. And just as a person, her positivity is contagious, and I love it. So within that, also, I'll leave this with two announcements for the Chaser Summit, really 2.5. Something we are doing new this year, and I really want it out because, it's really needed. And I got to give this to Ed Grubb because he brought it to me, and I thought it was a great idea. But we are doing a Hall of Fame. It's going to be a Storm Chaser / Storm Researcher Hall of Fame. And the first ever announcement and inductees are going to be at this year's summit. Well, I say this year, 2025 in Kansas City. So it's just starting. We're just putting it together. We literally just had our first meeting last week, and it's not just anybody. It's going to be extremely difficult to get in. You're going to have to hit check marks. Really, it's not even the Storm Chaser Summit who's doing it. We are putting the foundation blocks of the Hall of Fame. So in other words, what we're doing is starting the process. It takes a little bit of money to become a nonprofit and whatnot. And so that's what we're doing as the Chaser Summit. But every year our goal is to announce it at the summit. So this year's summit will have the first ever Storm Chaser Hall of Fame. And what we're going to be doing on the website is if you think somebody should be inducted into the Hall of Fame, you're going to be able to put that person in a nomination form with detailed information why you think they should be in the Hall of Fame. And we'll have a limited amount of entries every year. What we're working on is where is the permanent memorial, right? We're working in different avenues how that works, but a lot of info coming there down the road. The second announcement is last year's 2024 just went live tonight. So if you've not seen this last Storm Chaser Summit, the entire summit was recorded. It's going live for free. We're just going to put it out on our YouTube. And the last half of announcement is we are going to sell out. And that is a great thing. We are over 435 people that have signed up for the summit, and about 510 is about where our limit is on sales. And we are selling 5 to 10 a day. So if you do the math, we're going to sell out. Don't wait, and do not wait, because once you get past January 13th, the price goes up. So anyways, that's my spiel. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Thank you so much for the support. And really, Tanner and the guys, I'm so glad you were able to get on, Jen, get these guys on, and get Tanner. We'll get the other two guys on because I think you need a podcast just with them, Phil. I think just having them three on would blow people's minds of what they're doing.
Yeah, I love it.
Sounds
Erik, you're
cool.
so cool. Yeah, Phil, we'll make it happen. Yay! Oh my gosh, I love you, Erik, Tanner. Thank you so much. And Phil, Brady, what's happening with our subscriptions?
Brady, go ahead. You go first, man.
Yeah, so we're adding a couple of things to both our YouTube and our Patreon. First of all, we are going to do these things at the start of next year, so January 1. Right now, we've just got that $3 level for emotes. We're going to add some more levels, though, guys. We're going to add a $15 level where if you do become a member in that level, we're going to have some more personalized forecast videos. Got some really cool stuff where I'm actually going to take the areas that you are in. So if you're in, Detroit, Michigan, or, if you're in one of those crazy towns you guys always say on the local and the Meower, I'm going to give you a personalized forecast. We're going to have a whole stream where it's just you guys. So we're going to be able to talk about weather. If you have any questions, you have any events coming up, I'm going to be able to give you personalized forecasts for that event. We're going to be interacting. And then there's also a next level up where you actually might even be able to get on the Outbreak show. So we got a lot of really cool things coming down the pipe. More details to come, but that's all I got from YouTube. Phil, you want to hit the Patreon stuff now?
Yeah, so I teased this a little bit last episode or a couple episodes ago where, Brady and I, we got together, we had lunch. We actually had some legitimate, serious, good conversation for about 20 minutes.
It was good lunch, too. It was good lunch.
It was great, really good lunch.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about, are there ways to combine? And we talked about, well, YouTube and Patreon are kind of different. You can't do the same with both. And so we just decided, as Brady was talking about, that we're going to focus on on our YouTube memberships for people that love watching the videos and the YouTube and Outbreak and all of Brady's Stormcat 5 short videos
Craziness
and all that great stuff, right? But we're going to also continue to focus on our Patreon group for the folks that really love the podcast as well and love listening to that and the merch and everything that we can do with Patreon that we can't do with YouTube. So what we're doing with Patreon beginning in January is we're going to go back. We did this probably a year and a half ago where our live video, what we're doing right now live, the live podcast, is going to be a Patreon-only benefit. So if you're a member of Patreon, you're going to be able to tune in Thursday nights, catch us live, be in the chat, all that great stuff if you're a member of Patreon. If not, certainly the video will still be made available publicly a couple weeks after we do the live show. It'll still be public. You'll just have to wait a couple weeks to get it. The audio podcast will still be uploaded that weekend, so that won't change. It's really just focusing on the live video. If you like tuning in live, this will be a way to really catch us live as we make that a Patreon benefit for those folks. So what we're going to be doing, as Brady talked about, so this will start in January. What we're going to do with Patreon is just become a member. You can actually become a free member of Patreon. If you go to stormfrontfreaks.com, you can click on our Patreon tab, and that will take you to the Patreon page and all that stuff, or the links down below here as well, patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks. You can become a free member, and what we're going to do in January is for any member, whether you're free or you're a paying member, you're still going to be able to catch our January. We're going to have 3 shows, live podcast shows in January. You're going to be able to catch those still live. We'll give you access to that link and everything else. And then starting February, it will be for our paid level, which is for as little as $5 a month. You could be a Patreon member and catch our live video show and all that stuff as well. So just something exciting. We're going to add just a little special benefit, make it special to our Patreon team that we love and has been growing since we started this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and guys too, I just want to elaborate too, like if there are other ideas you have, let us know in the comments here on YouTube, let us know on Twitter, because ultimately we want to make this channel, this not only this YouTube channel, but this team, right? We want to build this team and make, amazing content. So if you have other ideas, let us know. We want to keep improving this for you, for all of our members, for all of our listeners, for everyone that's watching the Stormfront Freaks on any platform. We just want to say thank thank you. And please, please, please keep letting us know how we could be doing more content for you, because that's our goal, is to give you the best experience possible.
My gosh, I love it, you guys. What a way to wrap the show. This has been so incredible and so amazing. So we're going to do just a quick round robin where people can find everyone. Serena, where we can follow you, all the fun things.
Sure, yeah. Everything is at WX Serena, WXCYRENA. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, for those who are hopping over there. So yeah, any of the socials, YouTube, you can find me there.
Awesome.
She's TikTok famous. Everyone go on TikTok.
Woo!
Probably already know her.
All right, Brady, Stormcat 5. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Stormcat 5 with an underscore, because the original Stormcat 5 is we got problems with him, but we're working it out.
How do you know it's a him?
That, you know what? That's a good point.
Great
I don't
call.
know.
Great call.
That's a good point.
Is it before or after spay or neutered? I don't know.
God, yes.
See, the original Stormcat 5 was like actually for like hurricanes, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah. Naz, where can we find and follow you?
You can find me on X at MoneyStorm, the number 4, the letter U. That's at MoneyStorm4U.
I love
so
it.
Good.
Naz, you need to come back down to Atlanta so we can do a brunch again. Deanne, that was so fun. Deanne, where can we find and follow you?
I'm on YouTube at Dan Wallace WX.
Nice. Awesome. Garrett, where can we find and follow you?
So the easiest way is just to go to my website, garrettbeverly.com. It'll have all my links for X and Instagram and YouTube.
Sweet. Phil, where can we find and follow you?
All right. So, Erik, you might have decided to embrace more of social media. I've decided to embrace less social media in my life. So I'm really now kind of cutting back. It's just going to be Twitter, X, and Blue Sky. Just search Stormfront Freaks, but that's where I'll be doing most of my actual interaction.
Phil is awesome. Phil is the one that manages, like, Stormfront Freaks wouldn't exist without Phil. So by us taking these shows over, we're giving Phil a break. He can kind of relax for a bit because we're running this show. But no, seriously, Phil is one of the most creative, like, amazing people I've ever met. Like, you are just, I don't know, we wouldn't be here without Phil. So he is our fearless leader and guides us and comes up with the most clever ideas. So Phil, you rock. Everyone rocks in this.
Great, and he's a kick-ass driver, except when we go over bumps.
Yeah.
Then he's just very unlucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, Phil.
Oh my gosh.
He is a kick-ass driver. No, but Phil, you're awesome. But by the way,
so sorry.
So is this coming up the last show of the year, Phil?
Yes.
Oh my God. So who's going to be on it? I'll let you say.
So December 19th will be last show of 2024. It'll be Thursday night. December 19th will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. And for the first time after 220 some episodes, we're finally bringing on Fox Weather Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic is going to be on with us. We've never had Brandon on the show, and I couldn't believe it when I realized, wow, we haven't had Brandon on yet. So great way to end the year, and a little teaser to how we're going to start the year in January is we're going to do another movie commentary with the whole group. And there's a movie that came out this summer that someone was talking about that we might all watch together and comment on.
Yeah, it's going to be epic and amazing. With that said, this may be one of our latest endings to a podcast, Phil. It's 10:40 right now, but we did it. Woohoo! So with that said, for the entire crew, Garrett, Phil, Dan, Tanner, Erik, Maz, Stormcat 5, and Serena, I forget what you say at the end, Phil, but we did it. It's a wrap. I hope everyone enjoys the holidays and beyond. And cheers to stormfrontfoods.com. And yes, we love you all. And thank you all for your support always. Stay safe. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. You can watch our bi-weekly show live on youtube.com/StormfrontFreaks and download the audio version on your favorite podcast player. For links to our Patreon team of exclusive benefits, show notes, past shows, new videos, merchandise, and more, visit our website at stormfrontfreaks.com. While you're there, check out our interactive chaser radar from our friends at zoomradar.com. If you'd like to contact us with questions or make comments about the show, shoot us an email to questions@stormfrontfreaks.com or follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Search for Stormfront Freaks. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next time and tell a friend about the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Yay!
Great job, Jen.
Great job, MJ.
That was awesome.
Killed it.
Oh my gosh. You
Whose
guys are
idea
so
was it
awesome.
to do these podcast takeovers? Was this yours or MJ's, or whose idea was it, Phil?
Like Jen said, I needed a break, so I just thought, I saw someone do, someone did for some sports team, did like a social media takeover, and so for a week they did their Twitter account or something, and I'm like, you guys need your time to create something.
Yeah.
So this has been fun.
Yeah, I love it, Phil. Thanks for letting us do it. And Erik and Tanner, I know you literally got in the door and like turned this on.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
sleeping.
joined us.
He's like, I'm done.
So thank you so much. Feel free to go and do whatever you need to do to unwind. But we are so grateful that you were here. And seriously, Tanner, I can't wait to learn more at the summit and just geek out with you, because you are just, oh my gosh, the things that you're going to achieve and the fact that you're just beginning is just, I'm so excited for what the future holds with all the research and storm chasing with you and Erik and the whole team. So yeah. Oh, thanks everyone. Thanks, Fuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Tanner. You're the best. Remember us when you own your own $1 trillion company, okay?
Seriously.
Please.
And we're not joking. I mean, we're being dead serious. Tanner, remember this moment in time.
Hey, so I got a question. Is this being recorded right now before I say stuff?
Oh, it is. It is. We can end the live though.
Wait, no, we'll end in
don't,
3,
don't.
2. No, keep it going. Keep it going.
Do you want me to end it?
Yeah, go ahead and end it. Because
everyone, we love you.
We'll see everybody.
Peace out, everyone.
Thanks.
Oh, no.
Thanks, guys.